to Miss-Sibo's Reading Nook, and today we'll be reading an English story. I cannot wait to find out what the story is about. Let us go find out what the story is about. Today's story is A Weekend to Remember. It was my weekend to visit my granny and grandpa on their farm. My best friend Daza and I had been talking about our weekend at every possible moment. Our teacher, Miss Stu, had caught us passing notes to each other about the weekend, but we were so excited we really didn't care. We loved the farm. There were ducks, geese, chickens, donkeys, dogs, monkeys, and of course the 3 little goats. The goats were kept in a pen near the donkeys. They had coarse coats, big ears and eyes, and knobbly horns in the middle of their foreheads. Every Saturday, Granny and Grandpa would put on their rubber boots and overalls to clean out the goat's pen. The goat's pen got very messy and muddy. As we drove up to the farmhouse, I felt there was something wrong. Granny and Grandpa hadn't been at the gate to meet us. "Look, Mom, something's happened. Granny and Grandpa are lying in the middle of the dirty pen." "Goodness gracious," exclaimed Mom. "I hope they haven't broken any bones." "And where are the 3 goats? Mwenya, Layla, and Billy? They have escaped again. Benjamin, you and Daza see the goats have gone while I help Granddad and Gran." Mwenya, the very tame goat that had been brought up with the dogs, was a very odd creature. He didn't know whether he was a dog, a goat, or a human. Gran had bottle-fed him. When he was little, he used to steal scraps and sleep on the couches. Mwenya was clever and often lifted the latch and escaped from the pen. The other 2 always followed him. Layla, the youngest goat, had also been rescued, and Billy, the oldest, was grumpy and often butted people. I knew this was what had happened to Granny and Granddad. We ran quickly down to the fields. All the goats were romping in the newly mowed fields, eating the cut grass and minced thorns. I wish I could leave them there, but there were no fences, and the goats loved Mr. and Mrs. Nath's prize proteges. We called them softly, "Mwenya, Billy, Layla, come here." Billy pricked up his ears and started pawing at the ground. I first walked up to Mwenya. I whispered in his ear, and he walked next to me quietly. Layla followed Deza, and we led them back to their pen. Granny and Grandpa were no longer there. My mom had made sure that they weren't hurt, and they were sitting in their chairs on the back stoop. We locked the pen securely and went to fetch Billy. We put a dog collar with a long rope round his neck and led the protesting Billy back into the pen. There were homemade biscuits and Milo waiting for us. "Thank you, Gran," we both shouted. Her biscuits were our favorites. Gran and Granddad had 5 dogs: Jasmine, Joya, Carlo, Big Dog, and Tito. All of them had been homeless strays that had been adopted by my grandparents. Jasmine was a long-legged, aristocratic-looking girl with a shiny coat and large, soulful eyes. The dogs played an important role on the farm. Big Dog was a gentle giant that had befriended Goosey the goose. When we called Bigfoot to fetch his treat, Goosey complained about not being given a tidbit too. I hurried back to the kitchen to get her some bread. Joya was Gran's special dog. She had been with Gran ever since I could remember. She loved Gran and would snuggle up against her whenever she could. Tito and Carlo were small dogs who loved being together. They would make sure that the chickens were safe whenever the foxes came into the farmyard. Gran and Grandpa had a big dam on their farm. Deza and I loved swimming there. The following morning, the 5 dogs, Deza and I, raced to the dam for our morning swim. Jasmine in particular loved swimming. Once when I got a very bad cramp in my leg, she gently grabbed hold of my arm and pulled me to the side. Deza and I felt very safe with Jasmine. After spending lazy hours at the dam, it was time for lunch. On our way back, we had a desperate A newborn lamb got stuck in a thorny bush. Deza, help me free the little lamb from these thorns, I asked. After some effort, we managed to free the lamb. It trotted to its mother, who had anxiously been looking on. Back home, we told everyone what we had done.
Well done, said Granddad, and you will certainly have a lot to tell your friends at school tomorrow.
What a weekend. We love the farm. Good memories remain with us forever.